one of the very first conversations you need to have after having your vision, story, and core values, making sure that we are fully aligned, is to share with them about the culture in our office. And here's the culture. We see patients between our trainings. Here in our clinic, we train like lives depend on it, because they do.
Hello and welcome to the Remarkable CEO Podcast, a show dedicated to chiropractors who want to transform their job into a business so that they can have a remarkable practice as part of a remarkable life, not instead of one. With your hosts, Dr. Pete Camiolo and Dr. Stephen Franson.
At Genesis, we help successful chiropractors implement spinal decompression with a fully turnkey system that handles everything from marketing and new patient generation to systems, protocols, and ongoing support. The result? Massive value for your practice and life-changing outcomes for your patients, all without drugs or surgery. This is the next evolution in chiropractic care. Welcome to Genesis. Welcome to another episode of the Remarkable CEO Podcast, chiropractic's #1 business podcast. I'm Dr. Pete Camiolo.
And I'm Dr. Stephen Franson.
And it is great to be with you, Dr. Stephen, and to be with all of you who are tuning in and listening to this podcast or watching us today. Hey, do us a favor and like this episode, like this show if you haven't already. Love it, like it, share it. Tell your brothers and sisters about it. You know, this is a platform that we use, Dr. Stephen, to share, honestly, the most up-to-date, relevant chiropractic, tip of the spear conversation that we're having in business with the CEOs who we run with and serve and coach, and the business leaders who we surround ourselves with in the marketplaces inside and outside of chiropractic. So we continue to bring that to you through this podcast. So please share it with your peers, your colleagues, your friends, because what we've been hearing, Dr. Stephen, time and time again, is how the podcast has been such a blessing in so many chiropractors' lives that they really use this as part of their strategy to keep their head right, to help them stay focused and really be a better business leader and a better leader in the profession. So I'm grateful for that, Dr. Stephen, that we have the opportunity to share every week. An episode releases on Tuesdays for 6 years. We've been doing this, Dr. Stephen. I believe it's somewhere around this time. I think it was July of 2019. So we're coming up on that 6-year mark if we're not already there. And it is just a privilege and an honor to serve with you and to be able to utilize this framework, this platform to share the messages that we share every week, have the conversations we get to have every week. And I'm excited for the conversation today because you and I are both deeply passionate about what we're going to be training on today, discussing today, which is the training culture.
Yes. Yeah. It's our #1 return on investment. And we're going to talk deep on that because it is a business conversation. But Dr. B, yes, right back at you. It's been just an amazing journey, and it goes by like that. It feels like 2 lifetimes, but it goes by like that. And just coming off of the heels of the Orlando immersion last week, and now we've got the Sydney immersion coming up right in Australia. We're going to be teaching the same immersion, the remarkable system, right? The TRP system, everything from the conversion process all the way through the retention process. It's day 1, 2, 3, 4 in conversion. That's the first day. And then it's week 1, 2, 3, 4, month 1, 2, 3, 4, year 1, 2, 3, 4, and beyond, which is the retention process. And that's coming up in Sydney. I know that we've got a full house. I mean, we had 750 people pour into the building in Orlando, which was awesome, with all of our awesome clients, all of our guests, our team, our success partners. I mean, it was just a full house. So awesome to take that place over. You knew that there was something going on. The buzz in that place was incredible. And we're now scheduled for the biggest event we've ever had in Australia coming up in Sydney. We've got a couple hundred people in that room and then like 25 or 30 guests coming to that event, which I'm super stoked about. Dr. Eric DiMartino is flying over for that. man, it's going to be a spectacular event. I'm psyched to hear about it. So by the time you guys are hearing this recording, the event's probably already happened. So we'll be able to catch you guys up on the other side of that. But if I know the team over in Australia, which I do, it's going to be a fantastic experience. And I always get excited because I just look around and just think about how many more people are going to be doing a more compelling day one, day two, more conversions, more families under regular chiropractic care, and then us creating ideal patients so we can collect ideal patients. And that whole vitalist conversation we had the last time we were together, that to me is just, that's what I see. I begin with that end in mind and just creating that content, training up that team, our team, to deliver that message when I know that that's going to be the outcome, man. Just endless and boundless energy around that. So I'm excited for today's conversation. I know that, it's a business conversation. This is a Remarkable CEO podcast. This is Chiropractic's business school right here. This is where it's happening. Before we get into the content, I'm going to ask you, as you're listening, if you're getting a great deal of value from this, if you're learning something from this, if you're moved by this, if you're challenged by this, if your behaviors change for the better because you listen to this podcast, can I ask you a favor? Can you tell somebody about the podcast? Can you refer somebody to this podcast? All right. So I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss it. I'm going to ask you to follow us on YouTube and watch us on YouTube. I'm going to ask you to share that podcast, share this podcast, share the episode that resonates with you, because what the world needs now is chiropractic. And Dr. Pete, what chiropractic needs right now is more successful chiropractors.
So the way I want to set the stage for this conversation, Dr. Stephen, today is I want to set the stage through the lens of the Rubik's Cube. So as you know, if you've hung around TRP and you've listened to this podcast before, you know that there's a framework that we teach through, many of them, but one of the frameworks, and it really is what organized everything from the beginning, was the idea of solving your business is not a simple process because there's like a level of complexity to it. And so the best way for us to really demonstrate that and show that was through the actual Rubik's Cube, an actual cube, the Rubik's Cube, and so there's 6 sides to the puzzle to solve. And if you know anything about solving a Rubik's Cube, as soon as you go to turn, like I solved one side so you guys could see it, and this one is jacked up. And oftentimes, you can solve one side of the Rubik's Cube, but then the other ones are jacked up. And oftentimes, actually, when we run into many businesses, when we do our audit and our analysis of the business through the lens of the 5 domains, 15 primary functions of the business, we recognize that there are some things that we do well, and there are some things that we are completely missing or we're not doing well at all. And oftentimes, the framework that we use is we use what we call the troubleshooting form, which would be cool for us to give to everybody here today, Dr. Stephen. I'd love to give the troubleshooting form because what I want to do today is I want to create we want to have a conversation around a construct that's going to energize your trainings, which, like Dr. Stephen said at the beginning, is the highest and best use of your time. I spend myself training every week a minimum of 20 to 25 hours every week, some weeks over 30 hours training chiropractors. So if you think I'm not passionate about training, I have dedicated my life to training doctors and helping them become world-class leaders in chiropractors. So training is what Dr. Stephen and I do. Training is what you do when you own a business. Training is what people are signing up for when they come to work. And this became something, Dr. Stephen, that I had to lean into recently because I had a couple CEOs who had said that some employees were pushing back on having to do trainings, spending their lunch break certain days where they thought they would be downtime and be off to train or having to go to a conference and all this stuff. And I said, time out, time out, time out. Somewhere there was not a clear expectation and an honest agreement at the beginning of the relationship, because what we needed to make sure we lead with when we're bringing people onto our team, when you're hiring people on your team, one of the very first conversations you need to have after having your vision, story, and core values, making sure that we are fully aligned, is to share with them about the culture in our office. And here's the culture. We see patients between our trainings. Here in our clinic, we train like lives depend on it, because they do. In other words, the patient hours We get to do those in between the training hours, which is what we have to do. We have to train. We get to adjust. We get to see patients, but we have to train. And the reason why we train is because the lives of the people in the community who you have been called to reach and to serve depend on it. So 6 sides of the Rubik's Cube. Number 1 is vision. Vision answers the question, what does success look like? What are we trying to accomplish? The more clarity you have here, the greater the acceleration you will move in towards that destination. The second side of the Rubik's Cube is leadership. Leadership answers this question, who do I need to become? It's a question of becoming. It's not who am I being, although auditing how I'm doing right now and who I'm being right now is a vital piece of answering the question of who I'm becoming. And this is not an aspirational conversation. This is an actual conversation. And we center that around the core values of your organization. The third side of the Rubik's Cube to solve is systems. And what we teach, Dr. Stephen, as you obviously know, is that there is a system for everything. And wherever there's a system, you're winging it, you're going on memory management, and you're gonna end up playing problem whack-a-mole. And most chiropractors, businesses are organized that way. So we've organized the systems of your business through 5 domains and 15 primary functions: attraction, conversion, retention, the team, and your business office. 5 domains, 15 primary functions. And there's a system that we run for every one of those domains and functions. And when you organize your business around systems, business isn't hard. It's organized. It's systematized, which makes it scalable. It makes it gives you the potential of it to become durable and transferable. Fourth side of the cube is people, Dr. Stephen. We love people, but you got to get the people part right, guys. You got to get the people part right. There's 4 parts you got to get right. The first part, you got to get the right people. You got to get the right people. You know, there's billions of people on the earth, but there's only a few that probably belong in your office. You got to get the right ones. The right ones share your vision story. They want to be a part of what the vision is of what you said you're going to be creating in the now and the next and the ultimate. And they say, I want to be a part of that. They fully align with your core values. They say that described who I am. I fully align and I share that. And when you look at the talent, the skills that they have combined with their heart, and you know you have a position that's perfect for them, we move forward. The second thing you got to get right is got to get them in the right position, meaning there's going to be very specific work that requires a very specific genius. And God only makes geniuses. And I want to make sure I put you in that zone so you can just rise and shine and let your genius fly. Third thing you got to get right is you got to get right people doing the right work, which is a big deal. Doing the right work, as a dad, this comes all the time. It's like, yeah, that just wasn't the right thing to do. The right work is the right things to do. And then the right way, which is what leads me into what we're talking about today, which is the fifth side of the Rubik's Cube puzzle to solve. And that's what we want to help you solve in a better way today, which is training. Training is the highest and best use of your time. It is, like Dr. Stephen, you said, the greatest ROI you're ever going to get in your business by far is to train and develop yourself, which is why you're listening to this podcast, and train and develop your people, your team. You will always get the highest ROI from that. And Dr. Stephen, we teach some frameworks and constructs here, which we're going to unpack here today and as we have a conversation around this. And really what we're going to be focusing on today is the 2 sides of the training coin. And I hope that, Dr. Stephen, this energizes everybody who listens and creates just a greater level of focus when it comes to training moving forward, because we know that the lives in your community depend on it.
Yeah. And I don't want to leave a hanging chat out there. So I'm going to start where you left off, which is sixth side of the Rubik's Cube, which is energy. Right. So, and we all know the truth, energy is everything. And as the CEO, the chief energy officer, we own that. Right. And if we recognize that your business is always a reflection of your energy and your team's energy, when the energy's up, your business is up. When the energy's flat, your business is flat. Energy's down, your business is down. If you know that, like we know that, you can't describe it, but you won't deny it. And we can help you understand it by explaining it this way. Energy equals money times crucial communications, right? So as a CEO, you are accountable to the energy of your business and of your team. That, frankly, you are it, right? So you got to be the person that's constantly checking it, taking the time, taking the temperature. Where's the energy out on this team? And if something's off and wonky, you've got to be able to adjust it, right? You've got to be able to manage the energy, lead the energy, and you should have that energy like a accelerator pedal underneath your right foot, right? So you'd be able to alter and increase the energy, right? So the equation E equals MC squared is our construct for driving greater energy in the business. Energy equals money times crucial communications, right? So money is the first multiplier. Crucial communications in parentheses is a set of communications as the second multiplier. The first one, money, you got to get the money right, right? So money is meant to be an energizer, period. Think about money as compensation. The purpose of compensation is to energize yourself and your team. That's what money's for. Okay. So money is a great energizer, but it's also expensive, right? So money's expensive. Now we got to get the money right, but we want to look at that and say, well, I want to get the crucial communications right, right? So the crucial communications is the second multiplier, and those are readily available. They're infinitely divisible. There's always enough to go around, and they're free, right? So you want to master these, Dr. Pete, and I'm going to go back to this quickly. The 5 crucial communications are vision casting, as you said. What does success look like? It's got to be clear and compelling. Number 2 is goal setting, right? Number 3 is training and equipping and developing. We're going to come back to that in a second. Number 4 is guardrails and discipline. Number 5 is recognition and celebration. So let's go back up to that training and equipping and developing. I want to double click on something you said. Is one of the sure ways to identify an A player on your team to ask yourself, do I have A players? Do I have the right people? Are they A players that share our core values and buy into our vision story? Do I have A players? Well, here's a sure sign of an A player. It's not that A players tolerate training. It's not that A players will participate in training. A players require training. Right. So they require development and growth. An A player, think about it. Are you an A player? Don't you like to be in environments that are constantly challenging you, where you're learning new things, it's stretching you, and as training and equipping and developing you? That's because you're an A player. You know what I mean? So A players don't only not just not push back and participate, they actually require it. So I think it's the fastest way to cut the mustard and be able to say, okay, so do I have A players? Yes or no? This person, now that doesn't mean they love role playing and they can't wait to run off to, so that's not what we're suggesting. Everybody loves to hate more role playing, right? So it's hard, it's embarrassing, it's uncomfortable, right? It can be awkward, right? But we're training and developing. This person requires, they want to grow, as uncomfortable as that is, right? So I hate burpees, but I do them, right? So I hate deadlifts, but I do them, right? So it's just like, at the end of the day, it's like, I know there's an outcome on the other side of that, and I've got to make it through that struggle to gain the benefit, right? So this is like, so I understand, it's like, as an A player, when it comes to fitness, is I got to do things I don't want to do. That anterior cingulate cortex is firing when I don't want to get in the cold plunge. Guess what? I get in the cold plunge, right? So it's like, because I'm an A player and I want to optimize my life. Dr. Pete, training is the perfect revelation, right? It's the ultimate revealer of, like, do we have an A player on our team? Because A players require growth, equipping, development, and they absolutely need to be trained.
I mean, I don't know where to go from there except just keep climbing on top of it and keep going. So I'm going to say absolutely. So if you have anybody on your team who doesn't meet that criteria and they're not just hungry to get after it and get better, I'm just saying there is this, you have a sign and symptom of a B or C level player on your team. I'm not saying you can't resolve and save that relationship and make it work, but you've got to address that issue. That's an issue and it needs to be resolved. And so I want to double click on 2 things that you said. You said equip and develop. So I want to talk about that. So the way I define equip is to transfer tools. So when you equip somebody, you give them tools for a job. And so what I want to make sure we do today is we equip you for the job of training, okay? Because some people are like, I love it, Dr. Pete. This is great. I'm totally tracking with you, but I don't know what to do, where to start, how to do it, So we're going to equip you with tools to help you do this. The other word, develop. And when I think develop, I think ongoing, right? So when you develop yourself, you never like arrive like I am fully developed. You are developing. It's like leadership. You continue to develop yourself as a leader. You could develop yourself as a chiropractor, as an adjuster, right? You continue to develop. When you stop developing, it means you're stopping leading. You're not no longer taking ownership over your outcomes, and you're just allowing, life to happen to you. And so develop is big. So people that are working in our world, who belong in our organization, who belong working with you, need to understand the equipping means I'm going to give you tools, and we do that through training. I'm going to develop you through training. And then what that does on the flip side is it empowers. So the word empower, the way I define it is, and I think it's best defined, is to transfer authority. So to empower means to transfer authority. So if you're going to give someone authority at your front desk, checking in people, or on the phone, calling missed appointments and helping them reschedule, reminding them of what they committed to and agreed to on day 3, when they committed to their adjustments and rhythm and not missing and changing any of those appointments, and calling you in case they were going to do that, right? That thing. So like, you have to empower people to be able to do that. So when you train someone and equip them, they become empowered. So if you said, I need more power for people, more powerful members of my team, I want them to have a bigger influence, and I want them to drive better outcomes. Like, great. You need them to become empowered. To empower, to transfer authority effectively, you equip. Equip is to give tools, and we do that through training. And so today what I want to do is I want you to feel empowered about this topic and equipped. So Dr. Stephen, we use multiple frameworks when it comes to our training. We have the dedicated CA Academy, which has video modules, and it has, what do we call the books? I don't know why it's leaving my mind.
The SOP manuals.
Yeah, the manuals. Sorry. The SOP manuals, where everything is organized and written out for you. We have the DC manuals and the DC video modules to train. What is the purpose of the Academy? It's a resource to equip. It's a training resource. Those are resources to equip and hopefully help empower you. We have a training curriculum and schedules that we recommend you follow. This 26-week curriculum, which is meant to repeat cyclically, annually, twice, so that you continue to get better and better and better every year as you go. And that we're thorough in what we cover. We have a very specific template that we follow in terms of an agenda for how we execute the meeting. We have people who are equipped to lead those trainings, and we have people who are equipped to attend and be a participant in the training. And all of that together creates this amazing culture underneath the umbrella from the beginning of the podcast that we talked about, because lives depend on it, because they do. But Dr. Stephen, what we found as we were discussing this was there's really two sides to the coin. There's the leader side of the coin, and there's the recipient side of the coin in terms of the training, if you were to flip that coin. On the leadership side of the coin, you have heart, head, hands, and feet. And Dr. Stephen, I'll let you jump into that. I want to get to the recipient side, because what I found in helping CEOs develop their culture in their office and culture of training and optimize it is you have to have the recipient's perspective as well. And so what I found was there's really 4 parts to the recipient's perspective, and it aligns perfectly with the 4 sides of the leader's perspective. So the first step, and I organize this into the steps of how do you execute a remarkable training. The first step from the recipient side is tell me. Tell me is teach me what we're going to be training on. Teach me what is the skill, what is the topic, why are we doing this? Why is this important? Teach me that. Teach me. Remind me of that if I know what it is, but I need to be reminded. Like, we always need to be reminded. It's like, oh, that was good. I needed that. I need to be reminded of that. That's teach me. Teach me is tell me. It's remind me. It's explain it to me. It's like, it's the why behind why we do it. That's the first step. So as a recipient, teach me is what they're showing up to the training with that energy and that need. So pour into that cup. The second is show me. Show me is, and Dr. Stephen, I do this in all parts of my life, but including on the baseball field. And one of the things that we always do with the boys, the players, especially at a young age, even when they get older, we show them, all right, when you step to the plate, this is how you do it. When you're standing at shortstop, this is what you're doing. When you're on the mound and you got a guy in second and first, this is how you do it. You show them so they can see exactly how to do that activity. Then
Yeah, you don't describe it. You don't describe. So I want you to stand with your knees flexed slightly, centered over the balls of your feet, right? So we want you to attack the ball on your toes, not on your heels with a crazy hop. Right? You don't describe this to a 5-year-old, right? Or a 7-year-old or even a 17-year-old, right? It's like, I want you to do like this. And what do? The first thing we do is just show them. So you jump into it. It's like, because if a picture's worth 1,000 words, a demonstration's worth 1,000,000,000,000, right? So you show them.
Yes. And so that's step 2. And so this is where I would say, Dr. Stephen, whoever's leading the training would do a role play example. This is how you do table talk. This is how you check a new patient in. This is how you check out a new patient. This is how you do a progress report, PE1, right? You demonstrate how it's done. That's show me. What that does, Dr. Stephen, for the nervous system, for the mind of a person, is they begin to say, oh, and they take mental pictures and they begin to see, oh, okay, I see it. I heard it. I'm feeling it. The third part of the training is the allow me stage. Allow me says, this is the experiencing stage, right? This is where I'm experiencing. So now I'm role playing. I'm experiencing doing these skills, going through these steps myself. Now you've told me why it's important. You explained it. You taught me that. You demonstrated to me. You showed me. Now you're going to allow me to experience it myself in a very safe environment where it's a safe place to suck, is like we said, where it's okay to mess up. We're not bringing the hammer. We're not cutting you. You're not getting fired this afternoon, if you can't nail your script. It's just a safe place to grow, right? To create a culture where you can grow. So the third part is, allow me to demonstrate, let me to role play this. And then the fourth part of your trainings is direct me. In other words, give me direction. Like, tell me what I did well. Tell me what I could do better. Where do I need to know things different? And then direct me is also, and now send me back out onto the field, coach, and let me get to work. Let me do what we trained on today. So it's the 4 steps of tell me, which is teaching, show me, demonstrating. It's allow me, which is let me experience this through this role play, and then direct me, which is give me feedback, coach me up, tell me what I did well, tell me what I could have done different, show me a better way, and then let me do it again. Let me experience it again, and then give me a little more direction, and then we send them out and we go back to work, go back to shift, right? So that, to me, Dr. Stephen, that's the heart, the head, the hands, and the feet, right? That's how you do it. And Dr. Stephen, you've been singing this song and teaching this forever. And, I love that we get to continue to refine and help chiropractors become, more successful in their leadership and development of the people. Because as an owner operator, the only person that really needs to be trained, right, would be you, in the sense, if you really wanted to say it that way. But as a CEO, you build up your team and your team builds your business. I mean, there's only one way. You got to develop your people.
100%, man. All right. So I love the way you punctuated that. Let's put a bow on this thing as a business conversation. One critical component of what we talked about today is investment. So as CEOs, as you make the ascension from owner operator to CEO, your role is to marshal the limited resources of the business, optimize the limited resources for return, right? That's what you do. You got limited resources, time, energy, focus, and money. Now it's not just of yourself, of the organization. So everybody there is like, what is the highest and best use of our time, energy, focus, and money, where I'm going to see the greatest return? So for docs, like so many business owners, they struggle with this, like, hey, we don't train enough. We don't train often enough. It's not a fixed part of our schedule, like a standing training every month, never mind every week, right? So it's like, oh, we used to train and it worked really well, so we stopped doing that, right? Or they think of like, we only train when we hire a new person because the last person we had to get rid of. It's like they're not chasing this upstream and recognizing it's like, yeah, well, if they were an A player, they required regular development and growth, and that's why they left you. Or you hired a B or C player and didn't train them and expected them to become awesome because you didn't train them. Like literally, it's like all roads lead back to pain, right? So it's train or pain, your choice. Right? It's like literally you train your team or smash your head against the wall. literally your choice. And those are the only two. It's binary. Those are your only two choices. So when we talk about the highest and best use investment of your time, energy, focus, and money, where you're going to see the greatest ROI, let's just talk money owners, business owners for a second. It's like you take your money, and I know it. I talk to you guys. You guys like pull me off to the side at the immersions and be like, hey, where are you putting your money now? I'm like, where am I putting my money? I'll tell you. It's like, you can put your money in the stock market, like put your money in the market. Yeah, that's great. You're going to see a return. It's like an awesome investment. 12%, right? Last 10 years, 12.5%, right? So how about real estate? Is real estate, it's good, bad, or if it is it awesome? Yeah, you can put your money in real estate. You're going to see 15 to 20, 22%, whether you're in commercial or residential. It's like, is it good? Yeah, your money's illiquid, but it's good. It's a good, yes, 100%. Am I diversified in my investments? 100%. I absolutely am. I have money in the market. I got money in real estate. I got money in my whole life insurance policies. Like I've got money. I'm diversified. But I love what Warren Buffett says about diversification. Diversification is a hedge against ignorance. In other words, if you don't know what you're doing, you better be diversified, right? Because you've got too much exposure otherwise. Your investment portfolio should be a reflection of your experience and expertise portfolio, right? So where you have experience and expertise and, dare I say, influence on the outcomes that you'll get, your portfolio should reflect that, right? Dave Ramsey teaches that, and I think it's a brilliant teaching, which is if I were to look at your investments as a pie chart, is there a distribution of your investments? Is that a reflection of a side-by-side pie chart that would represent your areas of expertise, experience, and influence? All right. So at the end of the day, so many of us have money's in places where we do not have expertise. We don't have any experience, and we don't have any influence. Right. So what's the third category? The punchline here is investing in your business. You're a business owner. Listen to me, guys. That means you're in the catbird seat. You're in the catbird seat, right? Because it ticks all the boxes. That's where you do have the experience. That's where you do have the expertise. It's where you do have the influence. And you should see your ROIC, your return on invested capital in your business. You're going to see 100 to 300% return. So you're comparing 12.5% with 15 to 20%, 22% to 100 to 300%. Like you tell me, where do you think you should put your money where you're going to see the greatest return? So many of you guys are distracted. You're looking around at all these other places to put your money, and you're giving your money to other people and saying, I bet you're going to do better with my money in your business than I will in mine. Think about that. That's literally what you're saying, right? So take your capital, invest it back into your business, invest in yourself, develop yourself, invest in your people, coach, train, and develop your people, right? It's going to be the greatest return on investment you can possibly do. At the end of the day, if you're looking to optimize and maximize your return on your investment of time, energy, and focus and money, training, equipping, and developing your people is number one, and marketing is a distant second.
Please stick around for more business insights from this week's bonus interview with our remarkable success partner dedicated to helping you more successfully help more people. Enjoy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this portion of the podcast. I am so excited to have Dr. Erik Kowalke, who runs one of the greatest chiropractic offices on the planet, along with being the founder and CEO of SKED, with us. I always love partnering with companies that have a big vision. And that's one of the things that ever since, so I both as a TRP coach, I recommend SKED to a lot of my clients, and as a client of SKED's. So I've used SKED for years at this point, after having gone through several iterations of companies who are there to send text messages to people. But SKED by far has outlived any expectation or outworked any expectations that I had from a company that does that as far as the messaging goes. But their customer service is amazing. Their purpose is amazing. And we just, Dr. Erik and I just both got back from a great immersion down in Orlando. And Dr. Kowalke had the opportunity to speak from the stage, and he really encapsulated what I want you guys to hear again, but he encapsulated this idea that SKED is not just a messaging service, but they're a service that is out there to further human health and further the mission of chiropractic. And so that's what I wanted to tee you up, Dr. Erik. I know that lion behind you means something. So fill our listeners in, and so those of you who are just listening, Dr. Erik is standing in front of a painting of a lion that he'll describe here.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Chris. My wife got this for me for my 40th birthday. So was painted by a lady. I think it took her like 5 months to paint it. And it's mostly black and white, but there's a little bit of color. And the color represents the population of the world that's under chiropractic care. And if you can see on the video, you can't see very much color. And we know chiropractic's impact and penetration on the worldwide level is not significant, or as significant as we would hope. And I think I love SKED and chiropractic in our office, and really everything that we do, my wife and I, is furthering the chiropractic mission and profession. And I don't think there's a better opportunity in the next 5 to 10 years to add more color to this black and white painting and influence people towards chiropractic in a positive way than there is with technology. And if you look at the history of chiropractic, we've communicated what chiropractic is almost the majority of the last 100+ years face-to-face with people. One person at a time, face-to-face. And we know through technology, I mean, we have 4.5 million or 5 million people in our database with SKED, like actual chiropractic patients. And we could, through offices, they could send a text message and 98% of them are read within 1 minute. You can just communicate at a whole other level. So we're just committed to creating the best technological solution. And I truly see in the next 5 years even, our availability of technology and what we can build advancing so fast that we can positively shift the perception of chiropractic, not only with people that are in our ecosystem, but even outside the ecosystem, almost to where I was talking to my wife earlier, all the stuff that happened in the 80s when the AMA tried to take down chiropractic. I think a lot of that negativity still carries over to people's perception of what chiropractic is today.
Yes.
So if we can use SKED in this platform and the resources to positively influence the public's perception of chiropractic, and we can create enough momentum behind that with technology that even if I'm not here, this thing keeps going and the public perception of chiropractic is that much better, that's going to help chiropractors and our profession and ultimately the health of everyone for generations to come.
Well, I love what you said there about expanding our reach in the population, which has not yet been significant. But all of us know how significant our care is to people who, as individuals, right? Everybody listening here, you, me, we've cared for people whose lives have totally been turned around with chiropractic. And so the individual impact we have is massive. If we can increase the depth at which we penetrate into the population with our messaging, then we can have so many more people having that same impact. And that's where, we really can change things. And so I love partnering with companies like you who are so innovative. And what I love about SKED is that you're a chiropractor. You founded this thing. You created it so your office could do better, right? Serve people better. And in the remarkable practice, we know that the arc of a patient's life cycle in a practice is from attraction to conversion to retention. And ideally that retention side is where we end up parking most of our patients, right? In that wellness and maintenance group. And your technology gives us the ability to easily do that, because the pain points that I hear from clients all the time is that our compliance, we struggle with our compliance. And when we're struggling with our compliance, that means more phone calls to and from the front desk. And we just have a hard time with people remembering their appointments and so on and so forth. I know in my office, particularly when we used the system as you recommend the system gets used, which I'll let clients figure that out for themselves as far as how they want to use it in their office. But when we started using it to its full potential, our phone calls at the front desk went way down. and our compliance percentage went way up. And, we say that a compliance percentage below 88, 87% means that your clinic can't grow very well from there. And our goal is 92%, and we oftentimes go above that because of the SKED technology. So talk with people here just about those sorts of things. What are the specific problems that SKED and the SKED platform solves for offices? Let's just start right there.
That's a big question.
Yeah, because you solve a lot of problems, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah. So two thoughts came to mind as you were describing that. The first one, before we jump off of impact, just like what's the most real thing today that's happening? We have a goal and a mission to get 1,000 chiropractors to have 1,000 Google reviews.
Nice.
And not just a 5-star, nothing. We want an actual testimonial on your Google pages. That would be 1 million chiropractic testimonials on Google, which is going to be seen by all of the AI technology. It's going to be seen by everything. It's just positive SEO for the profession of chiropractic. So all of our tools that we build around and strategy around reviews is so much more than just to get a 5-star review. It's that 1,000 practices with 1,000 reviews. But from the show up rate and compliance, here's the pain points. Why doing it the old way doesn't work anymore. Nobody wants to answer the phone. Like, they don't want to talk to you. They don't want you to call. And whoever's at your front desk that has to make missed appointment phone calls, they don't want to make the calls. So it's a lose-lose. Nobody likes doing it, and they don't like getting them. So that solution, there's got to be a better solution. And secondly, majority of people that are non-compliant aren't non-compliant because they don't want your care or they don't value your care. They're non-compliant because you're making it too difficult for them to fit your availability into their calendar. Most of us are only open 20 hours a week or something, right? And so we're asking them, yeah, come in, but now they got to come in and they got to fit them and their families like day and agenda of coming in to your schedule, and everything's going on with them. So if you don't make it really convenient for them to do it, gone are the days where you can print off a 12-month calendar and they go like put it up on the refrigerator and they come every, they don't miss a visit for a year. That doesn't happen anymore. People want convenience. If you can give them the convenience of jumping on an app, seeing what times are available with which providers at which locations, and is it busy or is it not busy, and it syncs to their Google Calendar and their Outlook and their iCal calendar, that is super convenient. They can do it on a Sunday night at 11 o'clock, their Monday appointment's at 10, and they realize I can't go at 10 because my husband's got this thing going on. I need to come at 12:30 instead. Previously, they'd be a no-call, no-show, and they'd be like, well, I'm just not going to go tomorrow because I can't make it. And then your team's calling them and not getting a hold of them and leaving a voicemail, and then you have all this extra work. Now they just jump on the app, change the appointment to 12:30. That opens a slot up at 10. Somebody 10 minutes later has the same, but the inverse of that, and they move their appointment to 10 a.m. and your slots managing. It's like you have somebody working the phone system and managing it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You just don't have to do that anymore. And that's really where we're striving, which I think makes us unique, is not only do we want our direct clients of SKED, our chiropractors, to have a great experience, we want their patients to have a great experience and make it really convenient. And we put a ton of time and effort and energy into the user experience through the app side. We're committed to that being awesome, no matter which device they're using and how they use it. And that connection in turn helps the office make a bigger impact by reducing no-shows and improving compliance and ultimately getting better results for people. And in turn, more testimonials, and in turn, more Google reviews.
Absolutely. I love it. The word that keeps coming to mind is friction. You guys are like there to eliminate friction from all aspects. I mean, you're so right with nobody wants to talk on the phone anymore, and it's super convenient to pop out your phone and rearrange your schedule. Usually people are on their phone looking at their calendar anyway. My wife just did this morning. So we own our practice. We know our staff like they're our own family. And my wife's like, my chiro appointment's at this time, but I really need it to be at this time. She pops on the app, changes her own appointment instead of calling our own staff, like that. And great. Now our staff at the office didn't have to take that phone call even from us. So it just works so well. So I would challenge any chiropractor out there to contact me with a company that does a better job right now than SKED at all of these things. And the other thing I love is that you guys are always innovating because you have such a killer clinic over there in Michigan. Such a killer clinic that you guys are running into all the friction points that any clinic in the world ever would come into, and you're creating technology through the SKED app to help smooth all that out. So last thing is, hopefully people are inspired to like, okay, I will help more people and my people will be happier with our service. Hopefully we're inspiring people that SKED is the solution to that. And I want people to know, what does it really look like in transitioning to SKED? Like, how's that look? Not from the nuts and bolts of it, but just the basic steps of first you do this, then that, and then you're up and rolling with your everything.
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you don't know me, we have a Higher Health Chiropractic in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we have 5 docs, 2 locations. We see 1,500 a week between the 2 locations. We have almost 2,000 active patients coming and going every single month. And so I don't have time to spend onboarding new technology like virtually at all, So we designed SKED and built our team around doing as much for the chiropractors as possible. Like we just call it our concierge white glove service. So we set everything up for you. So if you're moving from a system or you're not using any system right now, our team will basically go through what problems are you trying to solve, and this is what we see majority of offices doing to solve those problems, and is this how you want it set up? And they'll set the whole thing up for you. So we're really hands-on in the entire onboarding process. If you need 3 calls or 5 calls, or you want us to talk to 2 different people, whoever runs your front desk and vice versa, we'll do that in order to get you the best solution. And I think what I love most about this is it pays off forever. There's probably some way to describe this. I'm not probably saying it right, but some things you invest in, like let's say you're doing marketing or something, and you create this whole big internal office campaign. Well, in 30 days, that campaign's over, and all the work you did for that's gone, and you start all over. With technology platform like SKED, all the work you put into setting things up and structuring it how you want is going to keep working and helping you forever, for infinity moving forward. So it's work that you don't have to redo and start all over. Like every effort and thing that you create and put in there for drip campaigns to like educate all the settings, it just keeps building and bringing you value forever to come. Kind of like Google reviews. Somebody posts a Google review and that testimonial lives there forever. It's going to refer a patient 2 years from now or 3 years from now when somebody's searching. SKED technology is the same way.
Yes. Fantastic. So even reducing all the friction for the onboarding of it, you guys have already thought of it. And that's been our experience for sure. Another feature I want to throw out there that has been hugely beneficial to us and our clients is the SKED forms. So just so the listeners know, forms are built into the system, and you can create custom forms, or you can utilize the forms that have already been created, or you can have the SKED team make the forms for you. And then it just shows up as soon as a person submits them. There it is. The team can get it, whether that's your doctors or your new patient concierge or your front desk, whoever needs it. Upload it right into your EHR. It's so slick. Anyway, I could talk forever about what you do. Let's just get right to the point. Like now, okay, so how do people actually contact you? And I know that many TRP offices already know you. But just talk about how they get in touch and if there's any other way you want them to contact you.
Yeah, great question. So our main website is SKED, sked.life, no .com, just sked.life. On there's a button where you click to do a strategy call, and you can have the team tell them your biggest problems, your biggest pain points. In 15 to 30 minutes, they could say, hey, well, this is how we would solve it, and this is what we would do. You could see all the different use cases on there. You could see the pricing. We have different plans from $99 a month all the way up to like a full concierge service where we change your appointment reminders for you every single week. We change your missed appointment reminder, a whole bunch of really cool strategy stuff in there. And just some really cool, like you can do trivia in your office through text messaging. You can do smart reply with leads if you're big into like growing your practice and you want to generate a lot more leads, so many different things. So that strategy call helps you dial in on like, okay, this is your biggest pain points and how can SKED help you? And so that's what I would suggest. Go to sked.life, click on that button, and schedule a time to talk to our team.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Dr. Erik. So innovative, so impactful. We love SKED, and thank you for being a practice supporter, one of our greatest success partners that we've had at TRP.
Awesome. Happy to be here.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Remarkable CEO Podcast. Remember, what the world needs now is chiropractic, and what chiropractic needs now is more successful chiropractors. If you like this podcast, please subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with us personally, direct message us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Now go and be remarkable.